Well, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Christina. For those watching, we have Christina Simmons here. She's a foster parent with Thompson. I'm Robert Burns. I'm our communications specialist. And what we're doing today, we just wanted to have a few minutes of Christina's time. I know you're very, very busy, Miss Christina. Wanted to get a little bit of understanding from you about your experience fostering. We are very blessed and we are very appreciative of your time. So, would you be willing to give us a little bit of insight into your foster experience?
I sure will. Um, well, I've been a foster parent for over 30 years. I've been with Thompson's about 11 years. I mean, since 2011. Um, I love what I do, and I don't really see a reason to stop it anytime soon.
Fantastic, fantastic. And we appreciate what you do. So let's start at the beginning. When we're having this conversation, I always like to think about this as if somebody else, maybe they're on the fence, they have the interest, and maybe they've heard somebody say you should do it, like become a foster parent, but they need that push. So I'm curious what it was that made you originally become or decide to become a foster parent.
I retired from the Air Force, and when I was stationed in New Jersey, I was on recruiting duty, and the foster care office just happened to be in the same location that I was in. At that time, they had a great need for foster parents who were able to access the facilities on the military installation, the BX, the commissary, the things that the kids could take advantage of. But unless you were in the military, it was hard to even go on to the base. And they convinced me, and I've been doing it ever since.
Hmm. How did you or why did you choose Thompson Child and Family Focus as your foster care provider?
Okay, I've been with a few agencies because I lived in a few states. When I relocated back to Charlotte in 2005, I was actually with another agency. My case manager at that agency just happened to be a foster parent through Thompson's. And she kind of convinced me without knowing it that I might need to make a change. I can remember Thompson from back in the day, and believe it or not, I am this old, Robert. I can remember Thompson Orphanage, downtown Charlotte, and that name just reached out to me.
Yeah, so we had the name recognition for you, and that was a lot of what it was. I mean, because for those who maybe don't know, Thompson goes back over 100 years, and as you mentioned, Thompson did start off as a child's orphanage.
Hmm.
So we've of course come a long way over the last 100 years, 100 plus years. And now we do a lot of foster care and a lot of many other services. But it sounds like the name recognition for you was a big piece of it.
It was.
So, what about if we were to talk about like the process? I know that there's a lot of becoming licensed. I know a lot of people like don't know a lot about the process and how long it might take and all those things. What was it like for you?
Well, since I was already licensed in the state of North Carolina, I thought it would be relatively easy. I did have to attend some additional training because the agency that I was with did not offer that. It was a transfer of paperwork, the usual fire inspections, the home visits, physical exam, and things like that. But it went relatively easy. It just took longer than I thought it would. I think took maybe around 7 months before they finally said, "Okay, your transfer has been approved."
Hmm. Okay, so maybe you thought it might be a like several weeks or a few months, and it ended up being a few more months than you thought, but
Exactly.
it
Exactly.
was less than a year.
Okay, it was less than a year.
So then, once you got on with Thompson, as you started to move into, you're going to work with Thompson. Um, what sort of training or resources, practices, what kind of things did Thompson, your team, provide you with before you welcomed your first foster placement?
Well, I had to complete the MAP training. And that's a lot of the basic foster care learning. Um, I didn't, let's see, I don't remember anything in addition to the basic MAP training because, again, the agency that I had didn't even use that. Now, after I came on to Thompson, then that's a different story.
Hmm.
They provided me all kind of training, and it's ongoing.
Oh,
I think
that's great. The
that's
ongoing piece of it, yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
That's one of the things that I love about Thompson's that we have our annual trainings, but we also have online trainings. So I tend to look for things that are specific to the children who are placed in my home. I can always go to the e-learning system um, and find a course that I just want to take on my own. So it makes it a lot easy.
Okay, okay, okay. That's great. And speaking of easiness and the ease and all those things, in your opinion, what would you say if you could put like some of the benefits of being a foster parent, or maybe a benefits to the youth? Um, does that make sense for you?
I think it does. Well, I always tell people my the benefit to me is purely selfish. I live alone. I have two grown daughters. One lives in Maryland, one lives here. And I've always been around people. I love working with teenagers. Um, it makes me feel good when someone comes to me and say, Miss Chris, I want to finish high school. I want to get my first job. Or I want to get my driver's license. That means a lot to me. It means even more once they leave and they come back and they remember little things that I might have told them, or they come back and they've had kids or a husband or got a great job, and that's a benefit to me.
Oh, that I mean truly warms my heart to hear that because I can tell you love this. That's amazing. What do you think it takes to become a foster parent? You know, you could ask it, what do you think it takes to be a foster parent in general? What do you think it takes to be a foster parent with Thompson? You take it how you want.
Okay, you really have to be patient. Things don't happen overnight. You have to remember that everyone has not lived the same life that you have. Uh, People come from all walks of life, and things that we're used to, they really haven't had an opportunity or to access those things, even simple things like using a cloth napkin or going places or being able to have their own money, little things like that that we take for granted. So you really have to have a lot of patience and be willing to meet the children. And you'll hear this a lot of times at Thompson's, to meet them where they are. Things don't change overnight.
Mhm.
And you just can't expect that you're going to make things happen overnight.
That's fantastic advice. Um, if you could sum up, you know, your fostering experience with Thompson, but only using three words, what three would you choose and
Okay,
why?
they tell you I was a talker, did they? Okay. I think I would say it's first of all, it's challenging. And that's basically with any agency. There is a challenge. Um, Sometimes you just have to back up and put yourself in timeout and walk out again and start all over. The next thing would be it's very educational. I've learned a lot about children and trauma and about myself just by working with Thompson's. I've learned a lot. Um, and the last thing, and this is most important to me, is the most rewarding thing that I've ever done.
Hmm.
I really I like the outcomes. I like the success stories. And I like the fact that it works. their system works.
Challenging, educational, and rewarding. I
Right.
think those are three fantastic words to describe it. And we thank you so much for your time. We just wanted to just have a couple minutes to understand a little bit more about your experience. This has been very beneficial for me. I'm sure many other people who see this will probably find great inspiration in you as a foster parent and as an example. And again, we thank you so very much. So, do you have anything else you'd like to add? Did I touch on everything you wanted to talk about?
Sure, you did. I've enjoyed the interview.
Well, fantastic, Christina. With that, I'm gonna let you go, and we'll
Okay.
be in touch soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye
Have a
bye.
wonderful day. Bye bye
Thank
now.
you.